Yes guys, Jess here, back with another video. You read the title. We have a lot of liquidity actually piling up above us and below us on a 24-hour. We actually have, you can see the 2 week liquidations. We have a lot of liquidity up and around the 100k mark. So we need to be talking about what's going to be happening. We can see at 90k, we have a lot of liquidity piling up there. I have a lot of charts actually prepared for you guys. So with that being said, let's get straight away into towards this analysis. But before we get into the analysis, make sure to smash up that like button. We hit the goal last time, we got 20 likes. So let's try get above 25 likes. That would be absolutely amazing, guys. And with that being said, let's get straight away into towards this banger. Bow. So as you can see here on the 2 week liquidation scale, you can see that we have a lot of liquidity actually above us that resides at the 100k region. However, we have a lot of liquidity around the 90k region. So we need to be seeing what's going to be happening. However, no, Bitcoin always moves to the majority of the liquidity. So if I go to the 1 week time frame for the liquidation heat map on the Bitcoin pair, you can see right now that actually Bitcoin's been grabbing the majority of liquidity above us, and we actually have a lot of liquidity at the 99k region all the way until the 100k mark there. So that's definitely an incentive for market makers to actually push price above us rather than below us. So that's definitely on the table, and I think the probability of us actually going up is more higher. So on the open later today and in towards tomorrow in the London session, we may see a nice pop. If not in the New York session, we can definitely see a rise for the Bitcoin price. However, it does depend again on the stock market. I do think that since FOMC, Bitcoin and the stock market has actually been very, very correlated in terms of performance, especially on your US session. So if the stock market can open green, then definitely we can see Bitcoin actually reclaiming 100k. Now, why as I say this is because we have funding rates extremely low. You can see this is the heat map of funding rate. I got a few comments last time of people not understanding the numbers with funding rates, but this is an easier way to actually display the same information. So this is a heat map of the funding rate, and you can see that when the heat map is extremely orange, funding rates are very, very high, and that was around the time where Bitcoin first hit 70k into 73k, 74k, and you can see that we had an 8 month consolidation just to recover from that high environment, that heated funding rate environment there. So definitely we are looking very good because we had slightly high funding rates previously. We had a big liquidation cascade, which was the highest since 2021. And ever since then, funding has been completely reset and even negative at times. So definitely things are looking good for us to actually move a lot higher. And I'll take the Bitcoin price on and off the screen over there. As you can see, I'm flashing it there. That's the Bitcoin price that I'm talking about when I'm referring to the different timings, and the funding rate is the one behind that, or the colored region. So the orange and the green and the purple. So yes, guys, in the imminent short term, you can see Bitcoin has been actually respecting this nice support region very nicely. And we've been calling it ever since down here. We were saying that we may bang into support, maybe get a little bit of a deviation. And on the reclaim over here, once we get the breakout from this downslipping trend line, and we had a nice falling wedge as well, looking at these supports over here. And we had bullish divergence as well. So we had extra confluence actually looking at the support, and we were saying that yes, we can definitely see a breakout, and that's exactly what's happened. So again, that's more incentive for you guys to be subscribing with post notifications on, so you can be taking advantage of these scenarios. But yes, you can see that we've broken out, and right now we're actually consolidating right now just below this resistance. And again, just like Ethereum has done. So if I come to Ethereum over here, you can see that we had nice consolidation before the breakout. And in my opinion, I think Ethereum's actually leading Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is in this scenario where it had previous support, so resistance, then turned into support again, and then we had a little bit of support there, we lost it, then we had resistance, and then a little bit of resistance, but we consolidated because this is the 4 hourly time frame. Within 2 4 hour candles, we rejected. Within this one here, we had a bit of a consolidation, but this was more distribution after a nice move up, and we failed to actually break above. And then we consolidated again for Ethereum, and we finally got that pop after we had a lot of liquidity here. And you can see that was a ascending triangle where you come up, you compress, and then a lot of liquidity gets built up from shorters trying to keep the price down and suppress it. And once you have that consolidation just below, most likely you get nice explosive moves to the upside. So that's exactly what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. I'll actually draw the resistance out for you guys, so you can see over here that this red box is your resistance level, and we'll actually just refine it a bit more, make it nice and neat. And you can see we're just below that resistance, and we are actually not rejecting straight away. So you can see this is the 4-hourly time frame, and within 2 4-hour candles we actually came down straight away. Here as well we had 2 4-hour candles, and then the next 4-hour candle, or the next 2 4-hour candles, were rejection candles. So we actually banged into this resistance and then rejected again. And you can see right now we had 2 4-hour candles, and then we didn't have such a rejection. We had nice consolidation that's looking very, very bullish. And if I go into my 2-hourly time frame, you can see this is a bull flag. So again, I do think it's likely for us to actually start breaking out to the upside. It looks like we're doing it right now, but again, it's not confirmed. We may actually come and close like this, and then at the start of the week we go a lot higher. But we do have our CME close price over here. So as you can see here, guys, we have our CME close price at 98.2k. So consolidation here, whether we go up now and then in towards the open, we actually come back and revert to close the gap, that's definitely likely. And even if we reject here, we're likely to actually resume and close the gap again. So as you can see, we had a nice CME gap over here, and we actually returned after deviating largely. You can see here we returned again, here we came to close the gap. So 98% of these gaps actually do tend to get filled every time you deviate away from it. So that's exactly what I am actually seeing here. This is kind of like a magnet here for the Bitcoin price. So definitely I think consolidation around 98k is actually bullish, and you can see that we have that nice bull flag over there. Well, actually, if we can break out from there and confirm that support, I do think 100k is inevitable. So you can see we have nice bullish divergence over here that's actually been supporting the price. We were calling for bullish divergence way before we had this pump, so that's looking really good. And you can see on this chart over here we have our range levels, and you can see that we're consolidating just below some major resistance there. So this is more pinpoint resistance over here that I put on this chart, and you can see that we're consolidating just below. So a push into this resistance is at least likely, and then maybe if we grab that liquidity and we are not able to actually start punching in higher highs again and higher lows, because the market structure right now, if you go into the hourly time frame and you actually look at what's happening, you can see that for Bitcoin we're creating higher highs and higher lows. So you can see you had your low, you had a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So that's your higher low there, and I think this is a higher low. So this is higher high, higher low. I'm seeing us punching another higher high and then potentially another higher low and resume the uptrend over there. So this is very likely for us to continue to do, and I'm not going to fade the trend until we lose it. So they say the trend is your friend to the end of the trend, and you can see we hit this nice trend line exactly. So it's likely that we just continue the uptrend all the way up, guys. I said there's a lot of liquidity just residing over here, which is likely to be grabbed, and then maybe we can actually lose the trend line and maybe come to our mid range and then continue a lot higher. And if you actually zoom out on the 6-hourly time frame here, you can see that if that was the case, this will just confirm in nice inverse head and shoulders. So that is actually bullish. So that will be a scenario I'll be prepared for, and I'll be buying more. I'll just be buying the dip. That will be a nice inverse head and shoulders potentially before we reverse, which is a nice reversal pattern. And if we don't confirm prices above this level and gain acceptance above 96 and we lose it, then definitely that's still bullish, as we're still in this range. So we have this support level and we have this golden zone where you actually fill this liquidation wick and actually come in towards this zone and then start returning upwards. That's definitely a scenario too. So again, even if we come down, I'll be prepared for that one and be buying a dip, because inevitably I see us actually coming down and then continuing a massive rally. So you can see on this chart here that we have this potential scenario with the Trump inauguration. So definitely if we actually pump in towards his inauguration right now and shatter all the liquidity and resistance there, we can actually start to reject after he gets inaugurated, and you have to buy the hype, so the news play out, and definitely that'll still be bullish for me. I still think that we'll have another macro higher low before actually resuming the uptrend. And yeah, this is something to be watching for. You can see the dates at the bottom there is from the 13th to the 20th, so it's the week before he gets in office and the day he gets in office. So that's definitely looking good. This is definitely the time we want to see Bitcoin rising into that massively bullish news. As we know, Trump is pro-crypto. He calls himself the crypto president over there. So if I have a look at some of the tweets that Trump's actually said, you can see over here that President Trump is extremely bullish. He says Bitcoin and crypto will skyrocket like never before. He's extremely bullish, and if he's bullish, you guys are not bullish enough. If he's more bullish than you, you're not bullish enough. And you can see he's talking about making Ethereum great again, which is absolutely insane. So he's pro DeFi. He's making sure that we are not under the scrutiny of the government. For example, the US SEC chair, Gary Gensler, was massively against crypto, calling most coin securities, and this is all going to be gone. So he's already resigned, and as soon as Trump gets in office, he's going to be making massive changes. So I'm very, very bullish for altcoins. I'm very, very bullish for Bitcoin. I'm very, very bullish for crypto. So this is the scenario to be looking for. We will be reviewing it in the week up until his inauguration. That will be a window where we'll be very, very, very alert, so that we're not being trapped by the sudden news, and we're actually buying that nice dip, and we'll be highlighting the relevant levels when the time comes. But you can see over here that we have this massive bearish divergence with this massive 7-year trend line retest, and we rejected from that region, and people were calling for a cycle top. But I think you should not be fooled, because this time where we had bearish divergence, we punched in a nice high just like we're doing now, and we actually came into this trend line. This was the time where the Federal Reserve started to hike rates. So the macro environment was very, very different to now. Right now, we're having quantitative easing, meaning money coming into the system. We're having interest rates decrease, which is very bullish for risk assets, i.e. Bitcoin and stocks. And essentially, this is going to allow them to appreciate over time as the cost of borrowing is lower and people have more disposable income to invest into markets as well. So again, I think that the environment is different, and you should not be fooled by us actually testing the resistance and rejecting, because when you test resistance, it's actually healthy to maybe reject a little bit, reaccumulate before resuming the up only environment. We can definitely come up nice and steady, punching in higher highs and higher lows all the way until 120k, and then maybe that's where we have that cycle top. It just depends on how aggressively we can actually pump, and this will still make this trend line valid, where we can be rejecting from the trend line, but it might not just be at this price. So I think getting bearish and shorting upward sloping resistance where your invalidations may be just above the swing highs and we still are below the trend line, but we've surpassed that point, is very, very bad strategy, because it's upward sloping. It doesn't make sense, and the environment from previously when we had this scenario was completely different to now. So do not be fooled, guys. And you can see on this chart, we have our cup and handle there. We have our cup and handle fractal where we have this bull flag, and we exactly broke out. And on our channel, we were one of the only people actually calling for this and calling for this massive rally this aggressively. Like, I didn't see anyone actually being this bullish. We were extremely bullish on this video and the previous videos just about 2 months ago actually, and you could go back and watch it. We were extremely bullish. We were calling for this to happen, something this aggressive to happen for the Bitcoin price, and that's exactly what's happened. So guys, make sure to be turning on post notifications and subscribing so that you don't miss out on time sensitive information like that. And you can see over here that we've exactly broke out from the neckline there, and we punched in a macro high low and a fractal taken from this 2020 scenario where the environment was the same. We had massive money printing, we had markets very bullish. It was the right time as well. So when we had this correction, it was around January, and right now it's January right now, and we're still in this corrective phase. So I'm seeing a macro high low being punched in. Maybe we actually start going up, and then we have maybe another correction, and then we just resume the upwards only environment where we punch in maybe a local top over there, and then maybe we sell them away, go away, and we go again. So this is something to be watching for. And you can see on this chart, we have our range lows from the bear market and our previous all-time highs that's exactly matched that from the bear market lows, which is looking really good. And then we've taken it from our projected range highs at 120k. We're expecting some resistance from that cup and handle price target. So you take it from your base to your neckline like this, and then you take it to your anticipated breakout, and you can see exactly it lines up with the 120k. And you can see over here that we've exactly used that as the range high over there, and then we calculated the mid-range using the 50% level from the Fibonacci, and you can see that exactly got to the all-time high from previously last cycle. It's touched this cycle's resistance point. We had a massive 8-month consolidation, finding a lot of resistance at this mid-range, and then we exactly broke above that point over there, and you can see the range quarter is using the 25% levels and the 75, i.e. the 50% from your range low to your mid-range. The halfway point over there is your range quarter, and you can see that lines up perfectly with that consolidation there where we had massive resistance in and around 48k, and also this massive resistance point from last cycle. And you can see over here we have a range quarter, and we actually broke above the range quarter and actually came back to test it as support. So I was expecting, when we were somewhere here pumping, a lot of resistance at this range quarter at 95k, and then we come down and we actually broke above that, which is amazing, and we're testing it as massive support. And you can see that by the wicks, we have never ever closed below 91k on the weekly time frame, which is very telling in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of accumulating happening. Every time the dips come, they're going to build up super quickly. We have a nice engulfing candle over there on the weekly time frame, so that's very, very telling again. So I think you should not be getting fooled. I'm expecting something like this where we grind higher in towards 120k mark. And you can see this is the year where we have massive altcoin season, so make sure to be up to date, turn on post notifications. I've had a lot of requests from altcoins such as BCH, which I'll be covering, and different altcoins as well. I'll be making sure to be covering on the channel. I'll be doing a separate video with altcoins, with Bitcoin mining stocks, with all of these different suggestions. So if you want me to cover an altcoin, this is the video where you have to comment below the altcoin you want, and I'll be doing TA, and I'll be doing analysis as well, and anything I'm hearing on the altcoin, I'll make sure to bring it to you guys on a separate video. So yeah, make sure to be commenting down below any altcoins you want me to be charting, and I'll have that video out for you guys in the next coming week. Speaking of altcoins, you can see the biggest altcoin of all, we have Ethereum massively breaking out of the symmetrical triangle over there. We have massive retest of this symmetrical triangle on the 6-day time frame. So this is massively bullish. You can see we have an engulfing candle after a swing failure candle over there, where bears tried to break back into this pattern, but we failed. And we have a nice engulfing candle over there looking extremely good. So I'm expecting rampant expansion from Ethereum. So I'm expecting candles, something like this, where you go a lot higher and actually punching new all-time highs, shattering this 4K resistance point from Ethereum there. So yes, definitely this is a major point where if you can break above it, then 100% we are very bullish on ETH. And you can see over here on this chart, we have a massive power of 3, we have a massive accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. You can see we've exactly broken out from this resistance, exactly like we were screaming on this channel down here in the shakeout phase. And you can see we still have opportunity, because if we retest this, fill in this fair value gap in the lower time frames, we can actually still rally extremely high and hold that one as another higher low. So things are looking really good for Ethereum. Whether we pump up straight away from now or we retest, things are looking extremely good. I'm expecting massive moves for Ethereum. There's literally no resistance in this area here in the expansion phase. So whether we actually just shoot straight up to 4K and then maybe form a consolidation just below resistance, which again is very bullish, we're expecting massive expansion for Ethereum. And you can see that this is a massive reversal signal. It's an inverse head and shoulders, which essentially tells you that you had a low and then now you're creating a higher low. So market structure is shifting, and this is a very bullish signal where you're shifting from lower lows and lower highs over there to higher highs and higher lows. So once we break above the neckline, that's the final nail in the coffin, where this is actually confirmed. So it's not actually confirmed until you see closing candles above this 4K mark over here, and then we can actually look at a target where we take it from our base to our neckline again, and you take it to the anticipated breakout. And that's our first target, which is conservative, is in and around that 5.4K mark over there for Ethereum. So that's looking extremely good. On this chart over here, we have way better targets because we have a massive cup and handle over there, and you can see that we have an anticipated breakout from the base of the cup to the neckline over there. You can see that that lines up from the anticipated breakout exactly at this 1618 Fibonacci, which is taken from your bull market top over there to your bear market bottom, and that's extremely good. So I'm looking at this resistance at 7.3K to be massive for Ethereum. Then maybe we come down a little bit before taking a higher low and going in towards our 2618, which is just above our actual 10K mark. So again, maybe you come to the 10K mark, rejection, continuation to the 2618, where we might top around 11.3K. However, if we're extremely bullish, then we have this next target at 15.4K. It sounds surreal, but again, just like we were highlighting way before we could see it, we have to manifest this. We have to look at the charts. We have to believe the pump, because guys, this is exactly what I'm seeing on Ethereum. I'm seeing massive expansion. And again, the charts never lie. They tell the news, they tell the price action before it happens. Your best bet of getting that inside info is looking in towards the chart. So this cup and handle is in play for Ethereum. I'm seeing massive moves, a lot higher. And later down the line, we'll be laughing because we were in before this breakout. We were bullish on Ethereum when everyone was calling Ethereum dead and looking at other coins. I'm still bullish on Ethereum. I think that we have massive targets coming. So you can see on this chart that this is exactly where we got our entry. This is exactly where we were calling for Ethereum bottom. We were saying that Ethereum is looking really good. We were looking for massive expansion, and we had a tight invalidation below this previous swing low there. And these symmetrical triangles are nice patterns where you can have tight invalidations because of how well the supports actually hold. So that's something very, very nice. And then we had our yearly open and our monthly open, which was the same day, January 1st. And that was massive support once we started to reach this resistance we recovered on the channel, and we turned this previous resistance point into support, and that was another opportunity. And now I'm saying if we come in towards this level, that's where you can get a macro higher low, and you can get a massive fill of this inefficiency, and we can actually go a lot higher. So I'm saying Ethereum is looking really good. This is an insane risk to reward. So if we actually go all the way to 7.3k, which is my resistance target I'm looking at, that's a 1 to 86 risk to reward trade on our hands. So you can see the target in and around the 7.4 to 7.3k over there is massive, and our risk to reward is absolutely insane. So if we get that breakout and we never return to our entry, which I am expecting, the probability of us actually losing our yearly open, I don't think is very possible. I think that the bottom for Ethereum is definitely in. So I think that right now we have a monster trade on our hands. And if you want to be getting involved and maybe you missed it, then there's another opportunity on that potential retest over there before you get that insane breakout. And the risk reward is absolutely monumental, as your stop loss / invalidation is just below that support over there. So if you want to be taking advantage, you know where to go. That is Blofin. And if we check, so we have proof of execution of this trade over here, you can see we exactly got that massive bottom on the symmetrical triangle, and we are in massive profits. We're almost 200% in profits. It's currently at 180% in profit from this time of this recording, and that's about $700 in the profit. We only entered about $400 there, so only a small position, and you can see it's already printing. And if we type in our potential take profit over there, you can see if we get to the first target of the cup and handle, which is 7.3k over there, then that would be a massive trade on our hands over there. That's about 9.5 thousand US dollars in a profit. So again, make sure to be keeping up to date with the updates, as opportunities like this is only covered on this channel here. And make sure to be following me on Twitter to stay up to date with every single market development, guys. You can see that I post a lot of charts that I don't get to cover on the channel on my Twitter, and I post the charts that I do cover on the channel on here in case you guys want to actually save that. So make sure to 100% be keeping up to date with what I'm posting on Twitter with notifications on. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me from this video. So have a blessed rest of your day. Peace, guys. See ya. Bye bye.